The Atlanta Dream season ended on a possession that will linger in film rooms and off-season workouts all winter. In a Game 3 decided by late-game execution, noise, and inches, Indiana made the final play and Atlanta did not. The sequence immediately after the game captured both sides. On one bench, Indiana celebrated a decisive road victory that vaulted the Fever into the WNBA semifinals for the first time since 2015. On the other, the Dream faced the reality of a narrow elimination in front of a sold-out State Farm Arena, with a timeout they believed they'd called swallowed by a wall of sound and a turnover arriving seconds later. Head coach Tanisha Wright called the ending devastating. In her opening remarks, she credited the Fever for fighting all the way until the last seconds and acknowledged that Indiana was able to make the final play. Asked directly about the last possession, Wright said she was screaming timeout as loud as I could, jumping up and down, but that in the den of State Farm Arena, the officials didn't hear it. Atlanta lost the ball moments later. It's unfortunate, Wright said. It happens. We still had chances to get stops and make plays after that to win the game, but it was definitely frustrating. We had other ways we could have won. That frustration was built over the final 5 minutes. For 3 quarters, Atlanta had done enough offensively to control tempo and force Indiana to chase. In the fourth, the math turned. We got stagnant, said Allisha Gray. We weren't moving the ball like we were in the first half. We took a lot of bad shots and kind of rushed instead of taking our time and executing. Then we had some timely turnovers that they capitalized on. Wright saw the same from the sideline. I don't know that anything changed drastically. They made some shots. We had empty possessions where we were staring at the ball rather than executing our offense. These are important possessions. You need to keep the pace up. You have to do things to break down the defense. We would play great defense and have a breakdown at the last second, and they took advantage of it a couple times. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the last basket when we had an opportunity. The margin between victory and elimination in the WNBA playoffs often comes down to fourth quarter organization, who can still run their stuff at speed when the legs are heavy and the building is loud. By Wright's account, that was where the Dream fell short. We trust Ryan Howard to make good decisions, Wright said. But in the fourth quarter, we slowed down. We are at our best when we are pushing the pace. It's a natural reaction in close games, but it's something we have to learn from. That is a lesson that will be stored rather than applied immediately. Unfortunately, there are no more opportunities to learn for this year, Wright said. Our goal this year was to win the championship. Right now it's deflating because we definitely expected to have the ability to advance. I give Indiana all the credit. They took care of the ball, got to the foul line, stayed in the game, and made the plays at the end to move on. The context widened as the press conference wore on. Wright's tone shifted from sharp analysis to visible disappointment. I wish I could be more encouraging, she said. I'm really disappointed for our players. I know the work they put in. I know how much they wanted this. For it not to work out is painful, and this is no exception. She then pivoted from the moment to the arc of the year. As an organization, we're in a great direction. We proved a lot of people wrong this year. A lot of people didn't expect us to play as well or be in this position. We have ownership and a front office that believe in what we can build. We believed in the vision, and we made strides. It hurts right now, but what's delayed is not denied. We're here to bring a championship to the Dream. It's going to be delayed. It's not going to be denied. The players echoed that mixture of pain and perspective. Gray emphasized both the internal growth and the expectations they set for themselves. Like Lee said, a lot of people didn't expect us to be in this position, she said. The resiliency of this team, the competitive nature has shown day in and day out. We continue to battle. We continue to fight. I love being around this team. We were all bought into the coach's vision and the organization and what we want to accomplish here. Like Coach said, what's delayed is not denied. Atlanta will be back. I guarantee that. It just sucks to be in this position. But everything happens for a reason. We'll learn from this and continue to grow. Ryan Howard, who has carried a heavy creation burden all season, was blunt on the late game possession that unraveled. She said she was focused on her assignment and did not see the entire play develop. On the bigger picture, Howard pointed to the fourth quarter's pace drop. "We slowed down," she said. "We're at our best when we push." A more expansive self-assessment will come with time. On this night, the immediate priority was addressing the loss and acknowledging the external factors that contributed to its shape. One of those factors was the arena itself. Wright's insistence that she called timeout, and called it loudly, underscores a procedural reality in professional basketball. Live ball timeouts require the official nearest the bench to hear the head coach call it, and then to confirm the team has possession. In a playoff environment where the arena is at full volume and a turnover is about to occur, those conditions are easy to disrupt. Wright did not complain about the rule. She described what she did and the consequences of the moment. "It was loud in here," she said. "The officials didn't hear it." Another factor was composure under defensive pressure. Indiana's fourth quarter defensive rating swung the game. The Fever sped up decisions on the perimeter without overcommitting to traps, cut off the mid-post entries that Atlanta uses to flatten defenses, and finished stops with rebounds rather than deflections. The Dream, by their own account, slipped into static possessions and second-side isolations that allowed the Fever to sit on first actions. In the first half, Atlanta's ball movement forced rotations and generated quality looks. In the fourth, the ball stuck and the shot profile worsened. The Dream shot a significantly lower percentage in the final 10 minutes and had 2 empty possessions in the last 90 seconds that could have changed the outcome. Wright did not pin the loss on any single sequence. "We had other ways to win," she said. "We needed to keep pace and break down the defense. We needed to execute at the end of the clock. We needed to avoid late breakdowns after playing great defense. We didn't do enough of those things." Her message in the locker room, she indicated, centered on accountability and growth. The season's goal, returning the Dream to the top tier of the WNBA playoffs, was within reach. The team's performance for most of the series lined up with that ambition. The final handful of possessions did not. The pain of a Game 3 exit is measured against a season that many inside the league will label a step forward. Atlanta's record, net rating in the second half of the season, and individual development across the roster offer credible proof. The Dream had a clear identity against elite opponents. Defend with length at the point of attack, run opportunistically off misses and live ball turnovers, and let their athletic wings dictate